Hi everybody, thanks for watching. So today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to get pregnant. So here's the kicker. When you don't want to get pregnant is when you easily get pregnant. When you want to get pregnant is when, ooh, so elusive, so difficult. Now, I'm just being a little tongue-in-cheek, but I realize, so if you watched my previous video, it's the one right before this, I talked about why I decided to have another baby. Now I'm talking about the actual logistics of it. And it took me several months to get my fertility back into a rhythm because I had been not fertile for so long. So I was getting a regular period. I was ovulating. I'd confirmed that with the doctor. So I'm like, easy peasy. Not that it would be easy peasy to get pregnant necessarily, but I had all of the recipe, the ingredients, right, for the recipe. Remember I talked about in the last video, was it in the last video? Maybe. Yeah, anyway, so the progesterone that I was taking, what it does is it decreases the cervical mucus. And so that is like the car that drives the sperm to the egg. If you don't have that, you don't conceive. And I didn't realize how important that was. And it wasn't actually until December, so June, July, August, September, October, November, 7 months that I got that back. And here's why, because I was still using the progesterone. I was just trying to figure out what my body, like the sweet spot, how I could still be fertile but not abandon all of my hormones, because I feel better when I'm on them. I feel more balanced. I feel just good. So that was really what it was, a lot of guessing and checking, and obviously you have to wait a full month to try each time. So that was my situation. But in general, these tips are going to be good for anybody who wants to maximize conception. So of course you need to know that you have a brief fertile window, and the best way to comprehensively evaluate your fertility is to do the basal, is it called the basal temperature? It's where you, every morning at the same time, you take your temperature. There's a special thermometer, it's only like 10 bucks at CVS. And they have apps, they have all kinds. You can go as fancy as you want, or you can go as basic as you want. I'm a minimalist, and I already had well, no, I bought the thermometer for 10 bucks, but I was like, I can just track them in my phone, like just every day, and then I just do the little graph. And you kind of know when you have the dip. The dip, it means signals that you're ovulating soon. But you don't want to do that just alone. You want to also use something like this. This is from Clear Blue. It's Advanced Ovulation Test. These are pricey, but they're worth it. And what it does is you have this, looks like a pregnancy test, but you put a new strip here. These are pricey because they're like little computers. They're actually very amazing, like for what they do or what they look like. So it'll tell you if you have a low fertility. It'll tell you high or peak, and high is a flashing smiley face, and then peak is a non-flashing smiley face, and that means that you basically are fertile that day and the next day, and then that's it for that cycle. And this is very helpful. The next thing, when you actually are doing your baby dance, aka sex, this product, and I was a little skeptical, not because of its efficacy, but because the ingredients. It's got like some not the greatest ingredients, like propylparaben, which are the stuff that I normally don't put in my body. But I think that the benefits outweigh the risk, and it's the last ingredient, so it isn't very potent. This is called Pre-Seed. And the reason why this is important is because two things. You don't want to just use any lubricant, because they will often enable, meaning limit, sperm's motility. This enhances them. This is like vitamins. And so it comes in a tube, and you insert it prior to intercourse, but only up to like 30 minutes. All the instructions are on there. And it has an applicator You don't need the full, like, whatever it calls for. It'll be way too much. I think maybe, like, see, it comes up like this. You put it on, you untwist it like you would, like, the monostat. You squeeze it, and then into it. And then I'd say use 1 up to 2 grams. See? And you wanna, when you insert it, you wanna kind of like a little pivot so that you get it right up underneath the cervix. Look at a diagram on Google, make sure you know exactly what everything is and where everything is. That's very important that we understand our bodies. This is not like creepy stuff, this is not icky stuff, this is important stuff. This is your body, ladies and men, and whoever's watching. So, remember I mentioned that I didn't have good cervical fluid because I had been on the vaginal progesterone suppositories for so long. So this ensured that I had that and boosted what I already have. And you do want to track your cervical fluid. The key is that tacky cervical fluid. It's like egg white, they call it. Consistency. That is muy importante. So I highly recommend this. And there is another product. They sell it at Target. I've seen it there. It's something stork, and what it is it's actually this, it's like very reasonable for what it does. I want to say it's like 50 bucks. What you do is you actually collect the sperm sample, and then it's sort of like the turkey baster idea. And the reason why this is important, this is key. 90% of the sperm die in the vagina. The reason being is because the vagina is acidic. So the idea is if you can insert the sperm and bypass the vagina and get as close to the cervix as possible, you are going to really maximize your fertility. And you know the whole deal about like laying with your feet up in the air. That is important afterwards for like 20 minutes at least. And if you have a retro uterus like I do, that's where it's tilted. If you've already had kids, you would know you had one or not because they would show it to you. And also if you had an ultrasound, only 20% of people have it. It's kind of like how some people are left-handed. It's just a quirk. But here's a trick. If you have a tilted uterus, then you don't want to lay on your back with your feet up. You want to lay on your stomach with your butt up. Make sense? Because you're opposite. Very important. These things, though not one of them is like, ooh, necessarily the magic thing, combined, it just maximizes your chances. So if you're wanting to expedite your conception, these are great tips. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything. Oh, and last thing, diet and exercise. Do not underestimate that. I happen to have embraced my plant-based diet prior to this, and I truly believe that that has a key influence in our fertility. Fruit of the womb, that's not just a saying because it's arbitrary. Fruit is what nourishes the womb. It gives us life. A lot of women avoid fruit because they think it has too much sugar. It's so important that you get those antioxidants. Those are fertility boosting. And then last thing, glad I remember this because this is really the most important thing, even though you may think, oh, when you are on birth control for a long time, you have subconsciously, this is medical medium that I learned this from, you have subconsciously been telling your body, no, 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 every day. Now, you're wanting your body just to flip it on a dime. Oh, I'm ready to get pregnant. You now have to retrain your brain. Remember, the mind-body connection is very important. And so you need to start visualizing what you want. And that's what I started doing. I started visualizing my womb being open. I started telling my body, I'm open, you know, I'm ready. And you have to come at it from a place of wanting to receive and not trying to achieve, because it becomes very systematic because you do have such a small window and you do need to maximize your opportunity. But it can't be about like almost like acing a test. You have to be like, God, I'm open to this gift, and nonetheless, it's always in God's control no matter what. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. Bye.